Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got a tank review for the brand new Eastern Alliance Era 2 Premium Medium Tank, the Jaguar Black Edition. Now this is a tank that you can pick up from the Black Friday tanks now that's out and about. I think it's the first Cold War Black Friday tank. And it's got the 75% XP bonus just like all the others, and it's a pretty decent tank. It's basically a Type 59 with a load of applique armour slapped on it because I think the original project was a Type 59 to be upgraded by an American company, which meant that they put on a load of applique armour on it, gave it the 105mm gun, or upgraded the 105mm, whichever way they did it. And then, thus, you get this more future-looking Type 59, pretty much. It's got 7 degrees of gun depression, which is quite nice. Its mobility is pretty good. Its gun handling's pretty good. The armour on it is really troll, because sometimes it works really well and sometimes it doesn't. On the whole, I've definitely enjoyed this tank. And for, I think it's 7,200 gold, it's a pretty damn good pickup for that amount of gold. It'll make you a lot of money in Era 2, as always, because the Era 2 Premiums tend to make a bucket ton of silver. And yeah, this is no different. And for that kind of price, it's not too bad. And I mean, the little bundle that they've got at the minute for both the black tanks that have come out this year in the double barrel and this for 11,600 gold, it's actually really not that bad a deal at all. So yeah, I mean, it's a pretty damn solid tank. Most people will probably enjoy it. It is a bit tall, so 7 degrees of gun depression, while it is quite nice for a tank like this, or for an Eastern Alliance tank like this, can be a little bit awkward sometimes, just because of the tallness. But on the whole, the tank is a pretty enjoyable tank, if I am totally honest with you all. And it's got pretty decent pen as well, and it's got Hesh. I love Hesh. So, without further ado, let's have a look at the statistics of the Jaguar. So as you can see, you've got a 750 horsepower engine with a 60.6 km/h top speed and a 22.7 km/h reverse speed, which has a 20.91 horsepower per ton ratio. Which means you do hit this 60 km/h pretty easily, and you've got a really nice reverse speed in terms of that 22 km/h as well. You've got 10% fire chance, which is on the low end, which is good. You've got a 2.6k hit points for your tank, which means you've got a decent slab of hit points to trade away. You've got 44 degrees a second on the hull rotation speed, which means this thing turns pretty damn quickly. You've got 1.6 on soft terrain, 0.7 on medium, and 0.6 on firm, which is, again, really nice. It does not hold this top speed back whatsoever. You've got 367 metres of concealment, which is okay, but realistically, in Cold War Era 2, you're not really going to be focusing on your camo unless you can get it to extremely low levels, which you can't really do for this tank. You've got 505 meters of view range, which is pretty decent as well. You got 34 degrees a second on the turret rotation speed, which is pretty quick, but also nowhere near the tracks. So you've got to be careful that if you turn left and you're trying to turn your gun right, that your turret will not keep up with your tracks. So just bear that in mind. You might want to run something like rapid aim instead, just to make it at least try and catch up. You've got 0.57 accuracy during rotation, which is quite nice. And again, if you put vertical stabilizers and the run and gun perk on, you're going to get that dead low. You've got 17 degrees of gun elevation, which is pretty good. You've got 7 degrees of gun depression, which is really quite nice as well. Like I say, it is a bit tall, though. So sometimes, while it is nice for basically like a Type 59, but upgraded, the 7 degrees of gun depression can feel a little bit lacking on a ridgeline, just because of how tall the tank is. You'll know what I mean when you play it. It just feels sometimes a little bit awkward in a place where you think, oh, should it feel this awkward? You've got an 8-second reload, which is pretty decent, and you can get that down to, again, a good level with all the equipment and stuff. You've got 0.28 accuracy at 100 meters, which is absolutely fantastic. 2.38 accuracy during movement, which you can get down to a good level as well with run and gun, etc. on the tank. 2-second aim time, which means you do not spend much time aiming whatsoever. The gun handling on this tank is pretty damn fantastic. You've got APF SDS as your standard, Heat as your premium, and HE as your, well, it's Hesh actually as your, or HEP. One of the two. It's Hesh or HEP as your standard HE, which has really good penetration. So you've got 3.5k DPM base, 432 penetration on the APF SDS, which is really nice. It means you won't really struggle to pen anything in the era. Obviously, 4211s will be a bit of a pain, but you can pen those in the drive wheel with 432 pen. You can also pen them in the cupola quite easily with that as well. And it means that you're not below that 400 mark, where when you're shooting them in the flat side, they randomly bounce you too. So 432 will do that. Heat pen, well, you're not really going to carry any heat rounds because heat in Era 2 is a bit rubbish. You've got 230 depend on the HE rounds though, which is why I run the advanced reload, the ammo swapper, because the HE is phenomenal. And again, you up your DPM massively by firing 570 alpha HE rounds into stuff like Leopards and 30Bs. You will do a hell of a lot of damage by doing that, and it's a really nice asset to have. You've got 1455 meters a second shell velocity, which is really nice. Although beware, if you do load the HE, your shell velocity drops to 850, which is quite a way lower. So if you want to fire the HE shells, beware that your shells will feel like they loop more when you switch from the APF SDS. And as you can see, your bonuses there, you got 150% silver bonus, which isn't as high as some of the ones in this era, but it still does make good credits. And you got that 175% tank XP bonus too, which is definitely a very, very nice thing for black tanks. So in terms of a crew and equipment, well, I run food because I like to make everything about the tank better. I run advanced loader, the gun stabilizer, and I run the advanced reload. Again, I run the advanced reload so that I can make the use of the HESH rounds, because I really do like the HESH or the HEP rounds, whichever way it is. And I run gun stabilizer to make the most of the gun, because I want to make this gun at least pretty damn snappy like every other gun in the era, and the advanced loader to make sure that my DPM is as good as humanly possible. Realistically, a lot of people don't like fiddling with their ammo and going between the APF SDS and the HE. You could quite easily just decide to run the traction system instead, and you will go at 66 kilometers an hour, and in terms of your reverse speed, you now go at like nearly 25 kilometers an hour. That is a number of the beast right there. That is the number of the beast. Nearly 6666666. But yeah, so you could quite easily run the traction system instead. It's down to you. I just like having the ammo swapper. I like making the most of the HE rounds. So it is completely down to how you want to play the tank, how you set that up. And in terms of a crew, it's in the T62M1. So let me go slot that into the Jaguar. So the crew that I run in the Jaguar is the... We're doing terribly here. There we go. We got there in the end, chat. YouTube thing. We got there in the end. We run Sixth Sense, Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Steady Aim, Run and Gun, Snapshot, Clutch Braking, Trap Mechanic, Deadeye. Deadeye for the memes, although that's probably a waste of a perk, if I'm honest. You're probably better just to run Rapid Aim. I run Deadeye for the memes so I can set people on fire more often, damage our racks, etc, etc. I like to meme like that. That's just the way I do it. But like I say, again, it's probably actually a fully waste of a skill. You could run Rapid Aim for absolute sure to make your turret traverse better, because the turret traverse is nowhere near the level of the tracks. Or you could run Armour Angling, to be able to reduce the amount of damage incoming by 5%, or you could run situational awareness to increase your view range by 6%, just so that you could spot things at further distances. It's completely down to you. I run the 3 gun perks to make this gun, like I say, as good as humanly possible, and I like to make it so that the clutch braking, just so it feels like that little bit more nippy when it's trying to turn and keep its tracks going with light tanks that are circling you, pretty much. And these 3 perks, because I always take those 3 perks, or these 4 perks, I should say, always, always, always. And I'm brawling quite a lot, so that's why I take Trap Mechanic. So let's have a quick look at the Jaguar Black and its statistics while it's fully equipped. So as you can see, we've now got 47.96 degrees a second on the hull traverse, which is a little bit quicker than it was stock. We've got a little bit better ground resistances now. We've got 548 meters of view range. 36.92 degrees a second on the turret rotation. So the turret rotation has got better, but it's still over 10 degrees a second worse than the hull rotation. You've got a 5.83 second reload, which gets even better when you boost with food. You've got 0.23 accuracy, which again is absolutely phenomenal. You've got 1.36 accuracy during movement, which is pretty damn nice. 0.3 accuracy during rotation, like I say, is absolutely fantastic. It means your gun really doesn't bloom out that much. You've got 4.7k DPM, which is pretty damn nice for the Jaguar Black Edition. And let's have a quick look at the armor, just so you can get a look at it for yourself. And as you can see, you've got 250mm on the turret front in terms of the gun mantlet and that little underlap there, and in terms of the upper bit of the turret, you've got 180, but there does not seem to be anything else behind that 180. So literally your turret front is 180mm of armor, and that is it. So that's something that you got to bear in mind with this tank, that if you're shooting at it, you're probably going to go straight through that armor there on the turret front at 180 quite easily, because there is nothing else behind. Like, a lot of tanks have 180, say, on the turret front, and then they've got an angled bit of armor underneath that is like another 100mm, which adds to the effectiveness. But this tank doesn't have that, so bear that in mind, that the turret front is basically going to get butchered. Whereas the applique armor on the hull is really quite layered, like with a 100mm plate there and an extra layer on top at 145 and another bar here at 105. You can see how there's different layerings. That makes the hull armor on this tank extremely troll to shoot at, and that basically there's a lot of times when you're shooting at this thing, random shots just don't go in and they'll bounce, and it can be a little bit frustrating, especially when you hit the upper plate. You'll find that lots of shots just ricochet here and there, and it's something to watch out for. It's not an instant pen on the hull, whereas the turret is pretty not very good at all. The hull is something that's going to be very, very troll for you to shoot at. It can side scrape pretty decently as well, but you've got to be very, very careful at the angles you do side scrape with, because a fair few guns in the era have such high pen that they will just go through it anyway, so you've got to be very, very, very careful with that. But that's the armour on the Jaguar Black Edition. Like I say, the Jaguar Black Edition, on the whole, it's a pretty damn decent tank. It's pretty cheap as well for Era 2, for a Black Edition tank, and it's definitely a lot of fun to play. I definitely enjoy playing this tank, and yeah, it's pretty damn solid. So as always, everybody, I'm going to send you all into the replays where you can make your own mind up on this tank, see how it plays, see if this tank's for you, or see if you think, oh, you know, it just looks like another 105 medium, I'll give this one a miss, etc., you know, because it is that. It's definitely another 105 medium tank that you can just sort of go a bit more like, oh, no, I can't bother with that. I've already got plenty of those, like the M68-1 Rise, etc., you know what I mean? But we'll show you all the replays, and we'll let you see how it handles. So I'll see you all in the replays. So here we are in the replays with the Jaguar 1, and this first game we are on Severogorsk, and what we're going to do with Severogorsk Encounter is we're going to go up to the position at F3 and try and look over the rock and shoot down the 3 line. It's a bit of a dangerous thing to do at times, because a lot of the time people will end up driving up behind you and stuff like that. You can end up getting pushed out. Also, you can have the issue that you can't quite look over the rock sometimes, and you have to overexpose and overpeak to get shots. So it's a bit of a dangerous one to take, especially since a lot of their team tend to go this way. But we're going to do it anyway, see how it goes. And as you can see with the Jaguar Type 59, we can't quite see over the rock, and we do have a fair few people behind us, so it's a bit awkward. But we're just trying to get round to see if we can get some shots around the corner. And we actually take a hit there. We're going to switch to the Hesh rounds, because we see a WZ-122. We can put the 230 pen Hesh round straight through his lower plate, which means we're going to do a significant amount of damage, and then he ends up getting shut down because someone actually ATGM'd him as well. We've still got the Hesh rounds in because I want to try and pen someone with it. We get it through the MX-30B2 for 568, and this is what I'm talking about with the Hesh rounds. I do take 10 rounds of Hesh in these days. I don't take the 5 that you see in these replays. I take a lot more, because they are very, very useful to have, because you can just up your damage so much with putting out the shots with those Hesh rounds, especially when you know you've got the lightly armoured targets in front of you. So you saw us take a hit there from the M60A2 with the ATGM. Luckily it hit our front lower plate, or upper plate, which meant they basically didn't do very much at all with the ATGM. And at this point I decided, okay, I've taken too many hits doing this on this corner, it's just not going too well. There's no point staying there, since it's basically meaning that we take hits all the time, and we're chancing it with multiple guns as opposed to just one gun. So we're going to run round and see if we can flank. But as we're coming down, we end up seeing this M60A1 Rise. We switched to Hesh because we had his ass. We RBRT'd it straight through his ass as well, and then we got up to 2.8k damage. Now we're up to 3.2k damage. Where did that one go? That was a problem with having our turret traverse slower than our track traverse. We RBRT'd at that MX-30 in the corner at 0, and because we turned left and we were trying to keep our turret on a target on the right, our turret actually turned with the tracks, which meant that the gun shot into the far distance, which is something you really have to keep track of. We go for the shot into the Brennus there, and I'm not really sure where that shell went. I felt like that should have probably hit him at least. That one did hit the MX-30B2 Brennus, but it bounces. Instead of focusing on the thing in the far distance, we may as well go help these guys against the tank that's close in. Oh my lord, that Bagak's getting... and he is gone. We're up to 4k damage. We're just going to poke around the corner, see if we can get a shot into this bandit now. It's like, hello, Mr. Bandit. We get a nice RBRT shot into him. We know we will reload a bit quicker than the bandit, so we go for that tracking shot, so we get some assistance, which we do. The 30B2 is a one-shot, so we're going for that shot to finish him off, which we do. And oh no, that leopard. Oh no. That leopard got... Oh no, that poor guy. He got... That is the pain of being in something like a leopard or a 30B. When something tracks you at a bad angle and it's got a machine gun, you just go bye-bye. All the time, very, very quickly, and it's not a nice time for you. We managed to get up behind the last couple of tanks that are here on this corner. We get the kill on the M60A2 from earlier. We go for the tracking shot on the Conqueror because we know that he's about to get brrrred, and we get all of the tracking assists for that, and we'll take that for a pretty average game for the Jaguar Black there. On several goals, we finished with the epic victory. Come top on the team, 4 kills, nearly 6k damage, 1800 assistance, decent amount of credits, 2.1k, 2.1k, 210k, the first class, 1614 base XP. So yeah, pretty damn nice game for the Jaguar there. And now we're on to the second replay. In the second replay, we're here on this map, which is Mannheim. It's Mannheim. We're on Mannheim. Mannheim. We're here to have some fun on a map that I don't really particularly like, if I'm totally 100% honest. But we're going to have a good time because why not? That's just what we do on this game. So I decide, right, what am I going to do? You know what? I'm going to push up on top of this bridge and see if I can get any cheeky early shots at someone that comes up on top of the bridge on the opposite side, because that always happens. There's always one or two. So we're just watching now through the true vision to see if we can see anyone poke up. And there we go. We end up seeing what it is. I can't tell what it is. I can just see that there's a tank. Unfortunately, we bounce off its turret, but this time we get it in. It's a bandit. We hit its tracks. Just waiting for the reload before we poke around the corner again to get the shot in. He's still there. We get another shot in that damages his engine, and as you can see, I can just see him start to pull back. You can just about see the movement. It's quite difficult to see, but he was there. We're just now watching to see if that bandit re-pokes out, because if he does, he's going to be in for a world of pain. He does try to poke out again, but unfortunately our shell just deviates to the left and hits the container right next to him. But clearly he's decided, okay, I was getting shot there, I can't quite see what was shooting at me, I may as well just run away. So we're going to do the same, because there's no point hanging about somewhere for too long. So we're up to 935 damage, which is not enough. We want to get somewhere towards what we generally tend to average in Era 2, which is about 5 to 6k damage, at least, to be happy. So we're going to go push and see if we can find anyone to shoot. It's a bit weird. This game was definitely a bit weird, because I was definitely driving around going, I'm sure I should have found someone by now. Like, what? Where am I? What is happening? What is going on? Who, what, where, when, and why, and how? So we're in the position going towards where the enemies are spotted at the minute. I'm hoping to try and get some shots up on top of the bridge. And there we go. We've got a shot into the bandit. And unfortunately, the shot just goes low and hits the fence there of the bridge. But we're going to look to see if we can finish him off, which we do. Glorious times. There's no one left on our left-hand side, so we know that the two guys on the bridge. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and push over and see if we can get into position to shoot the guy that's on the bridge, and see if we can find anyone else in general, because at the minute there's not really too many other tanks spotted. But then we do actually end up finding the Magak 5. It's like, hello, Mr. Magak 5. You know what? My team's just killed the M60A2 that was on the bridge. Let's go see if we can get this Magak 5. That's what we're going to do. That's the plan of action. We're going to focus on getting this Magak 5 out and seeing what we can do against him. There's also a T-72AV, but he's in the distance. Sometimes it's a little bit off-putting when you see the tanks pop up on the HUD and you're like, oh no, and then you look at the minimap and you're like, okay, they're miles away. So we get a nice shot snapped in on the move into the Magak there. He pens us, but we pen him again. We're going to try and side-scrape out a little bit, see if we could bounce anything, but he ends up pulling away and running away because he's getting shot by my team, as you can see, that are at E6. And now we are actually going to go and flank round to his side. He's trying to run away, so we switch to the Hesh. RBRT the shell straight through his bottom, sets him on fire, and he gets shut down. This is why we load the Hesh, or the HEP, or the HE, whichever one it is. I think it's HEP, actually, for this tank. But, yeah, we always load that HE, because you can do some significant module damage as well as doing higher damage. 570 alpha compared to the 460 is definitely very nice to load. Unfortunately, we missed the shell on the RDF there, which, yeah, that was just RNG saying, nope, not today. Sorry, mate, you're not allowed to hit that. But we're going to go after this other Magak 5 now, because once again, he is another tank that is isolated. I'm pretty healthy, and if I can get the jump on him, we can slap those HESH rounds, or HEP rounds, or HE rounds, straight into his back end, which we are doing. 567, beautiful. Can we get another one in before he turns away? Yes, 537, great times. We damage his engine as well, which means he's trying to maneuver, and it's very, very awkward for him. We switch back to the APFS DS, because, well, we're not going to pen the HE anymore through the front of the because of the spaced armour. We may as well load the APFS DS. Going through the lower plate. They are coming in to try and ram us. We bounce them off our side, or off our front, sorry, our extremely angled front, and we shut him down. Now there's 2 tanks left. This RDF LT that I want to try and get in to get a shot in, it's like, oh, this guy's actually coming after us. Good times. We get a nice shot into it, and it's like, yes! Gotcha! Let's go! As you get the ram in. Woo! Always great when you manage to just catch the little pest that's running around. And we managed to get the little ram in to shut down that RDF LT. We're up to 6.1k damage. There's only 1 tank left on the enemy team. It is this AV that's in front of us. I'm making a bit of a mistake that I've just realised, is the fact that I should actually go out into this side of the alleyway, because I probably actually have shots of that AV, but he gets shut down before we get a chance to do it. And we finished the game with a really nice total for the Jaguar Black. We finished with the victory. Second on the team, 3 kills, 6.1k damage. The second class, the 1359 base XP. A pretty decent game for the Jaguar Black there. Again, a pretty average game for the tank. And it just showed off, again, the capabilities of it when you can run around and get this gun singing. And also the amount you can block as well, because you can actually block a good amount off this tank. The weak spot is the turret. The turret just seems to not bounce really anything at all. But the hull armour is really troll to pen. Sometimes it bounces, sometimes it doesn't. Just because of all the spaced armour and the applique armour that's, you know, slapped all over it. So now we're on to the third replay. In the third replay, we're on this map, which is Rosanai. And on Rosanai, we've come straight to the castle here. We get a nice shot through the opposition Jaguar Black, and then something shoots us from behind. We go for the RBRT onto the Leopard 1A1 that just shot us from behind. It's like, well, you pesky thing, I'm going to shoot you back, bro. We try and get the shot into the Leopard 1A1, and the M60A1 that we just could not see because of bushes goes, "Get down, Mr. President!" And, you know, takes the shot, because why not? But we'll take those damage. Now we're going for the drive wheel of this M60A2, because what I want to do is track this M60A2 around the corner, because I do not want him turning his gun on me if he can. He has just fired though, so we actually get the HESH round and slap the HE round straight through his ass again for higher damage. But once again, if we can track this guy around the corner, we can stop him getting his gun onto us. So we've tracked him around the corner, and because a lot of people don't run track mechanic, we've actually got him perma-tracked with our DPM. But he's just fired at the other guy, so we feel confident in driving around to make sure that we're going to kill him, and we do. We've now got the opposition Jaguar Black in the side. We get a shot through his side there, and we're hopefully going to finish him off, but the Leopard 1A3 manages to do that before we do. Now there's about, what, 5 tanks that we can get up behind. We're about to pincer these guys. They're absolutely surrounded, which means these 5 tanks are going to go down very, very quickly. So we get a nice shot on the move there into the Object 120. I should have loaded HE, but to be honest, because I was firing on the move, I wanted to make sure that that shell was going to hit. We smashed the HE round through the Object 120 for 567. We switch back to the APFS DS because he's now a one-shot, and we shut him down. Now the Centurion 9 is coming in, and we're going for the shot. We loaded the HE there to go through his upper plate, but then we switch back to the APFS DS, and unfortunately, we absolutely fail that shot into that Centurion 9, and we hit the floor. We should have aimed properly, but because we tried to RBRT it, our turret traverse couldn't keep up with the Centurion 9 running away, and we ended up missing the shot. But there's 2 tanks in front of us, the 2 FV42-on-1s. They are getting absolutely surrounded, so we're just trying to get... To be honest, what I was trying to do there was get a shot into his tracks so I could farm some tracking assist. But it didn't quite work out. I ended up spending half the time faffing trying to find his drive wheel, and then he ended up getting shut down. So we ended up missing any opportunity to get more than one shot into that 42-on-1 just because we were trying to be greedy in terms of assistance. Now we're just waiting for the bandit to drive out in front of our gun because, well, there's no point moving. We may as well see if we can get a shot into him. But the bandit gets shut down by the M60A1. Now we're going to move into a bit of a dangerous situation. I see that medium tank charging into our medium tanks, and I'm like, okay, you know what, these guys are probably coming through the middle. Let's see if we can get up behind them and, you know, get some shots in. And there's the first one. There's the M60A1. It's like, hello, Mr. M60A1. It's you versus me, bro. Oh, goodness me. No, this is not a good time. I've now got a BMP behind me. We load the HE to try and slap that into him. but we end up not penning him. He pens us with an ATGM. We load the HE this time, though, and get it into his side, which does a good amount of damage. We were going to go for the kill on the bandit, but the BMP is more of a distraction for us because he's got the rat-a-tat-ta-ta. We get HE round through him for 614. The M60A1's actually just buggered off. Listen, it's fairly fortunate for me, because if he'd focused with his teammates there to get me out of the game, I would have died. The M60A1 actually ran away. So, I'm fairly lucky there. Unfortunately for me, the bandit gets a shot in there, putting us down to one shot, and we ricochet off his upper plate, which means this is now going to be very, very awkward in terms of trying to get the kill on this guy. But we're going to try and do it anyway, and unfortunately, my driving sucks. Oh, my driving sucks, and we get killed by the bandit. But we finished with the epic victory. The 4 kills, 8.2k damage, 450 assistance. The first class, the high caliber, with 1614 base XP. A really nice game for the Jaguar Black there. That might have been an ace if we'd managed to get the kill on the bandit and actually survived. But, you know, my driving, me and rocks, we get on like a house on fire. And I love flipping myself on rocks. Yep. Yep, that's the way it goes. So, we're on to the 4th and final replay of this video, and now we are on to Desfall. And on Desfall, we are going to go to the middle in the Jaguar. Going to go to the middle because I generally like the middle of Desfall, because you can get so many shots across different sections of this map, and you can react from the middle area, the town in the middle, to a lot of different areas as well. So obviously if they push hard down the K line, I can turn around and start attacking them. If they push hard down the B line, I can turn and face them. If they decide to attack the middle, well, I'm probably dead because, well, it's sad times. But, you know, there's many things you can do. I mean, you could run away at that point. So what we're going to do is we're going to see if we can get up on top of this hill, see if anything is actually coming up to contest the hill, and if it's not, try and see if we can shoot anything that's going up the sea line. So we're just using True Vision to look round the corner. We see the enemy Jaguar there. We were just looking for the shot, but he ended up going, nope, not doing that, and pulling back just in time. We end up spotting the Leopard 1 there, who bounces off our armour. We're just looking to see if we can get a shot into him, but we can't quite do it. Now we're going to look to see if we can get any shots down the sea line at these tanks here. So we can see this bandit and the RDF LT, so we're just looking for a shot into this RDF, which we managed to get straight in, which is nice. The bandit is in a position where I might be able to pen his turret if I'm lucky. We try and get the shot into the bandit, but unfortunately the shot just misses him. Now the bandit is actually looking at us. We try and get a shot into his turret. We end up ricocheting him there off of our turret, I think, which is kind of lucky. We go for the shot to destroy the wall. We could see the enemy bandit's icon, and I thought maybe he's just sticking out enough there to get a shot into that bandit. We did manage to get it through the wall. We actually saw some tracks there that were sticking out from behind the destructible wall, and it's actually a Centurion 9 that we pinned in place, which was a really nice shot. The only reason I saw him is because I was looking for that bandit. And we just saw the back end of a drive wheel, and we managed to get the shot in that tracked him in place. Now the other bandit is poking out to try and get a shot into us, which he does pen, but we do get a shot into him as well. We're going to try and destroy the destructible wall here to see if we can see the FV4211 or this Leopard, but we can't quite see them yet. We'll go for another shot into the Leopard, but we can't, again, we just can't quite see him. But we actually see his turret poke up. And yet again, unfortunately, we can't quite get the shot into that Leopard 1 as he gets a shot into us. We're now watching the corner for that Centurion 9 that's been popping some shots in at us. And it's like, go on, Centurion 9, you've been cheeky, you've been getting shots at me, bro. I'm not happy about this, you need to go. And thankfully, he does finally poke out around the corner, and we shut him down. Just looking to see if anybody else is going to poke out and give us a lovely shot, because that would be very, very kind of them, but no one else is actually doing that. So what we're doing is we're moving forward to a different position to get a different angle. We actually see the Leopard there around the corner, so we load the HE rounds, slap it in, 538, because we could see it was his front. Again, at any opportunity you can, it's nice to use the HE rounds, it really ups your DPM. But now we are in a position where we can just about see the side of the 4211, so we get the shot into that guy. We've got the bandit as well that we still can get shots into, so we're trying to get shots into the side of him. There's the RDF. I'm thinking, can I get a shot into this guy? It does actually fly straight into his upper plate, which is great. and the RDF runs away. So does the 4-2-1-1. I can't quite see the shot into the bandit, and we do get detected, so there was something that was looking at us. The bandit's now in a position where we can get a shot into his turret, but unfortunately we actually ricochet off of his turret front. So what we're going to do instead is go, okay, screw that, I'm not doing this anymore. We're going to go help this flank behind us, because I'm kind of bored of just trying to snipe the people in their turrets and their smaller weak spots. So we're going to try and help behind us, get rid of the guys behind, and if we can, that would be absolutely glorious. We're just watching the corners, because like I said, we knew there was a leopard there, but he actually got destroyed. This 122 is something that we do need to get rid of, because that would be a dangerous tank with his double tap ability. We load the HE round straight through the lower plate, 540, switch back to the APFS DS because we know we can kill him in one shot with that. We get the auto aim onto him and we finish off the WZ-122. Now we're going for the shots into the Jaguar Black, our opposition number. And we're going to go for that lower plate. We get a shot straight through the lower plate there, and we actually damage his fuel tanks as well. The ATGM flies into him for 1100. We try and get a shot into his side, and unfortunately it ricochets. Now going for the shot into his lower plate again, which goes straight in. Hopefully get the reload in time to be able to shut him down. He bounces off us, and we shut down that Jaguar 1. Now we are going to go and try and flank. So what we want to do is we saw rounds coming, and there we go, the Leopard 1A1 gets spots. We actually saw rounds shooting out from G0. So all I wanted to do is basically charge up G0, get up there, get rid of whatever was up on top of this hill, on top of this little town, and then we could also maneuver behind the guys along the D line. And you never know, there might be something else up here with this Leopard 1A1, because who knows? We're up to 3 kills and 6.1k damage, which is pretty nice so far, and I'm hoping to get more. That Leopard 1A1 was pretty healthy. I mean, he can take my hit points pretty quickly, but I can also load my HE rounds and take his hit points very quickly, which is lovely. So I'm just looking around the corner to make sure that he's not on our left, and actually we can see him right there. He's focusing somewhere else. We get the HE in, slap it through the upper plate for 542. We actually ricochet him off our upper plate. He's got a similar reload to me, but HE is great. We slap another HE round straight through his upper plate yet again. Looking for that final HE round through his upper plate, but unfortunately he actually gets turned around by his teammate, which then actually tracks him in plate. Well, means that we didn't have his upper plate anymore. We actually only had his tracks, which meant the HE didn't pen, but we did track him in place, and we shut down that Leopard 1A1. The other 1A1 gets shut down by the 30B2. We're just looking for the other shots into the back of that bandit. We see a shot flying. It's like, hello, Mr. RDFLT. Do you remember me, brother? We shut down that RDFLT. Now there's only 2 tanks left on the enemy team. It is the FV4211 and the bandit from earlier on. So we're just going to race to see if we can get a shot into this bandit or this 4211. The 4211 is currently spotted out in the open. The bandit could still be where he was behind those rocks, where he's been pretty much all game, but we want our Top Gun. The Top Gun is the thing we want. The 30B2 shuts down the bandit. There we go, we get a nice shot straight through the side of that 4211, securing the Top Gun, and finish the game with a really nice total for the Jaguar Black Edition. We finished with the victory. The 6 kills, 8.7k damage, 940 assistance, 2.8k block, the ace tanker, the Top Gun, the high caliber, 1694 base XP, a really nice game for the Jaguar Black there, which is, like I say, a pretty damn solid tank, and it's pretty cheap as well for an Era 2 Premium. It's a pretty damn nice tank to pick up. It's a hell of a lot of fun. And yeah, I've definitely very much enjoyed it. It's one of those tanks that, again, it's another 105 medium tank, so it depends if you have enough of them already. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.